Hey everybody, Joel Wanasek here with Unstoppable Recording Machine, and today we're going to take a look at the very basics of how to EQ. Now, there's a couple things to talk about here. So EQ is something that takes years to get good at, obviously, and it can be very complicated and very overwhelming. But if you're just starting out mixing and you want to get a basic foothold on how to EQ better, the way to learn to EQ is to simplify what you're doing. So having less things to worry about. So I think the best way to do that is to simply take sources here and do a simple shelf. This is what a shelf EQ looks like. You can use a graphic EQ. I recommend grabbing a point. Now, we could do parametric EQ like this, but we don't, that's a little bit more advanced for our ears. So let's just start out simple. The easiest way to get good at EQing, I think, is to just take a shelf, because essentially there are two questions you have to ask. We're going to listen to a source, meaning a drum, a guitar, a bass, a vocal, whatever you want. And we're going to ask a question. Does that source need to be brighter? So we're going to add some shelf. You know, what frequency isn't necessarily so important, but do we want to add treble, meaning do we want to make it brighter? Or do we want the source to be warmer? And to do that, we can do this. We can reduce some of the treble. And the next question is, do you want it to be thicker? And in order to do that, hold on, you add some bass. So we can raise a shelf down here, or do you want the sound to be thinner? So you can subtract some bass. So brighter, warmer, thicker, thinner. And that's a really good and easy way to start out when you're mixing and train that. So a good way to do this is to open up a session, and I've got one in front of me. I got some Papa Roach here from Nail the Mix, and I've cut out some of the tracks just to simplify this down a little bit. And everything's pretty much zeroed out on the mixer. So I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna mute all the post-production. I'm gonna mute the guitars and mute the bass. And let's just take a listen to our drums. So we've got all these fancy mics, and let's make it simple. I'm just gonna get rid of the sub, this extra snare mic, the mono overhead here, and snare down. And I'm just going to keep the toms, a pair of rooms, a pair of overheads, a hi-hat maybe, snare, and a kick. And let's just listen to each sound and then decide what we think it needs. So let's hear a drum sound. Now we haven't balanced any faders, so as we practice EQing, we're gonna balance. So the first thing I would do is I would grab the instrument in solo. And I think it's important when you're learning to EQ to actually start in solo and try to make each sound the best that it can. And then take it out of solo, balance it, and then listen to the big picture, meaning once you've EQ'd a bunch of different things in solo, meaning you've tried to enhance each sound to sound the way that it sounds best to you, you can then take a look at the big picture and see how the pieces fit together, and then you can make adjustments. Because, for example, if you make your guitars sound great, but then you put them in the mix and then find out they're too bright, obviously you need to adjust. So let's listen to each instrument here and then just diagnose and adjust. Okay, so our kick drum. So our kick drum to me sounds a little bit muddy. So let's see if we go brighter. Now let's make it warmer. We're definitely gonna need some of that click. Let's try to make it thicker. And now thinner. To my ears, making it a little bit brighter sounds the best because we're keeping some of the punch in the kick, but we're going to get more attack. Now again, what frequency you set the shelf at, that's kind of to taste. But again, we're instead of sitting here and playing with all this EQ and getting technical with it, let's just focus on these simple things here. Brighter, warmer, thicker, thinner. So I'm just going to make it brighter and adjust it to where it sounds good to my ear. So we're gonna leave it there. Okay, so we got our kick drum in. Now let's hear our snare. So the snare sounds kind of dull. So let's see what happens if we make it brighter. It's got a nice crack. What happens when we make it warmer? Sounds very boxy. Now let's make it thicker. We're losing some of the attack, now thinner. It's missing some body. So I'm just gonna go in and make it a little bit brighter. Okay, so we got our kick and our snare. Let's hear them together. I'm just gonna balance these out slightly and turn up our kick. Okay, great. So now let's take a look at our overheads. I'm gonna mute the hi-hat in the rooms and let's hear what we got. Now I hear some harshness in the cymbals. So if I go brighter, what's gonna happen is it's probably gonna get a little bit harsher. Let's try to warm them up a little. That sounds better to me. Let's thin them out. That adds a lot more clarity, and we'll thicken them. Now I'm gonna put this in context with the kick and snare here so we can hear it, but my impulse is to thin them out a little bit. Here how it's muddy, let's bring it down. So we get more direct attack on the kick and snare. Now let's take our top end and add a little bit of treble. Gets a little bit harsh on the ear. Let's warm them up. I think definitely the best, if we're gonna make one EQ move, the best thing to do would be to thin them out a little bit and get more of the direct kick and snare punch. Then I just balanced the fader. So, okay, so we've got a little bit of a basic drum sound going here. And just to keep this video simple and not go for eternity, because we're focusing on the basics of EQ, I'm just gonna get this going with my drum sound. So a kick, a snare, overheads, and then I'll bring in some rooms. So the rooms are kind of dark. Let's hear what happens when I turn up some treble. Makes it harsh, let's make it warmer. Room sound a little bit bigger. Now let's thin them out and thicken them up. I kind of like that. Let's hear that in context with the overheads, the kick, and the snare, and then I'm just gonna balance it. Because our drum set, just a little bit of thickness. All right, I am gonna do the toms. I lied. I'll do these really quickly here just to speed things up. All right, let's hear this tom in solo. Okay, sounds kind of dull. Let's add some brightness. Sounds better. Let's warm it. Too dull. Thicken it up. Too boomy. Too thin. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of brightness. Help it cut through the mix a little bit better. And I'm just gonna arbitrarily pan this hard left and this one hard right. Let's hear the floor tom. Kind of dull. So I'm gonna just add some top end to it. All right, so let's hear the drums. Let me balance these in a little bit more. So you can see we're not going crazy with EQ. We just have a single move and it's improved our drum sound. Just to show you, let me pull out all the EQs here and link all these channels up. And we're just gonna compare EQ before and after, and you'll be able to hear. Okay, so everything is linked, and now I'm gonna bypass the EQ. So you can hear now that with just a simple amount of EQing, a little bit of shelving, we managed to make our drum sound a lot better. We got a lot more clarity in it. It's got more impact. So now let's hear some guitars and bass in this mix and see what happens. Okay, so I got 2 guitars. I'm just gonna pick one. I like that guitar better, so let's do this one for simplicity. Okay, so let's listen to this in the mix. Guitar sounds pretty thick, so what happens if we brighten it? Makes it kind of fizzy. What happens if we warm it up? No articulation. What happens if we thicken it up? Too boomy. What happens if we thin it? I think that's my favorite. Let's hear it in the mix. Now, again, as you're diagnosing these things, again, just listen very carefully. If the sound sounds boxy or it sounds congested, just try each one of these moves, you know, brighter, darker, thicker, thinner, and see which one gets you there. And then compare your results. So now you can hear when I play this back and I thin this guitar out a little bit, what ends up happening is it fits better in the mix. It blends in with the drums a little bit better, and there's a lot more clarity. So I'll audition it one more time for you. See, if I overly thin it, it sounds weird. All right, let's start there. Okay, now let's take a listen to our bass guitar and see what we've got. Sounds a little muddy. It doesn't have a ton of bass in it, so let's make it brighter and see what happens. Get some rattly attack. Let's make it warmer. Sounds a little dark. Let's thin it out. Makes the bass clanky, and let's thicken it up. I think I like it a little thicker. Let's hear it in the mix. All right, see, that's sounding pretty good. So let's compare all of these tracks now here that we've EQ'd. And, you know, when you're learning to EQ, it's important to not rush anything. Just take your time, experiment. There's no right or wrong. Obviously, you're going to have certain things that are going to sound good to you, and it's important to note that over time your ears are going to develop, and it can take a long time for them to develop. Your hearing is kind of going to work in stages like a ladder, and if you think about it like this, like you're going to be struggling, you're going to mix for a month or 2 months, maybe 3, you're not going to feel like you're getting any better. Then all of a sudden one day you're going to be like, wow, I think I'm getting better at mixing, and then you're going to go back and listen to all your work and be like, oh geez, I can't believe my last mixes suck. And then you're going to go and go and go, and you're not going to feel like you're going to get any better. Then suddenly 2 or 3 months later, boom, you got better, and you're hearing things that you've never heard. So for me, it started out when I was EQing. I heard a lot I was able to add treble and bass, and I was not able to hear mid-range. Then I started to learn how to cut and massage mid-range. Then I started becoming very specific, certain frequencies that became very specific to my hearing. All of a sudden I heard too much 2K and everything, or I heard too much 500 and everything. And you know, you start becoming very sensitive to certain frequencies, and then you adjust them, and you're going to go through all kinds of different phases in your EQing. But like I said, this is just a great place to start as a beginner, and you know, you gotta start learning to EQ somewhere. So why overcomplicate it? Okay, so let's compare the before and after. I'm going to bypass the EQ on all the channels. And it's amazing how much better this sounds with just a little bit of fader balance and a little bit of basic EQ. It's crazy to me. What a upgrade. So again, just listen to before. Now after. The snare and the kick actually have some punch. There's some clarity. You can hear the guitars and the bass, the notes. And we haven't even really done hardly anything. I mean, if I was mixing, I'd probably already have used 100 more bands of EQ by now on these sources. So that just goes to show you, a little bit of simplistic EQ, adding, subtracting, cutting, whatever a sound needs, thicker, thinner, brighter, warmer. You just got to decide. And there you have it. So you can really learn a lot by just focusing on the fundamentals. So if you want to practice this and get better at EQing as you get more advanced, I would just open some sessions like this, get some stems, and go through each sound and basically sit there and ask that question. Does it need to be, brighter or warmer, or does it need to be thinner or thicker? And that's pretty much it. And then just go through and practice. And as you get comfortable doing that and you start adjusting your hearing, then you can start adding extra bands. So for example, if I was EQing these guitars and I wanted to learn to EQ mid-range, I would then maybe grab a parametric point and I would sit around and say like, okay, what sounds wrong with these? To my ears, they sound a little boxy. To me, that's the most annoying area, so let's bring it down. That sounds more balanced. Let's hear it in the mix and compare it. See how much boxiness that took out? So that's the next step in EQ. But like I said, this is really just for people starting out, learning to EQ basically, and getting a good foothold and developing good skills. So there you have it. If you like this video, please click the like button. Let me know how your EQing is going. And if anybody's out there practicing this and working on your fundamentals, love to hear how you're doing on it. I would do this every day for maybe a week or two, and then start adding additional bands. Just keep mixing. That's what's the most important. If you like this type of content, we have tons of great mixing videos, so please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. I'm Joel Wanasek, and this is Unstoppable Recording Machine.